Hello, very welcome back. So today it's going to be a very short tutorial about how you can make good line art. I've made a video about that already, but that video wasn't really a lot of helpful. So I'm just going to make another video, and this time I'm actually going to share tips that gonna help you a lot. So let's just get our sketchbook out, and let me just explain to you how you can make good line art. First of all, you should not really care a lot about your supplies because that won't really matter in the end. But what you should care about is your rough sketch because I won't recommend you to make it a bit too much detail. That way, you're gonna confuse yourself while making the line art. Then now we have that in mind. Always know your light source because when you know your light source, you're gonna make the areas that are opposite to the light source darker and the areas that are facing direct light a bit lighter. Third of all, hatching and cross hatching. Areas where you want to emit a more sense, that sense that darkness is here, you're gonna have to emit that more, and then that's the way you can do it. You're gonna have to hatch it or cross hatch it depending on your style. I generally go for a more mixed version of them since hatching and cross hatching combined look way better than either of them individually. Of course, now with that knowledge, you can already make some really good looking line art. But of course, you're gonna say that what are the things that I should buy for good line art? Well, let me tell you some great art supplies. First of all, you should really check out Draw Like a Sir's website because I personally like all of his supplies. They are really good to use. Then, of course, we got Micron pens and they are of course amazing as well, but in the long term, as I already mentioned, you shouldn't really care about your art supplies, that is, as it's not about the art supplies, it's more about the artist. Now, let's do another thing. You should not really chicken scratch when you're rough sketching. Of course, if it's not in your style, because, well, chicken scratch lines look so bad, and chaotic lines aren't any different. What you should go for will be a more medium tone where you can control your lines. Keep this in mind. Always move your hand slower than your brain could think. Was that way you're gonna have good line art. You're gonna need to have like really smooth lines just to get that a sense of confidence in your drawings. When you are sharing some area that is difficult to do, I would recommend you take your time on it, because, well, if you made a sketch in 2 hours and then you did a line art in 10 minutes, so yeah, it's simple. People, I always heard them say that my sketch looks so good but my line art always messes it up. Well, it's simple, because you spend 2 hours on a sketch and then you spend like 10 minutes on the line art, and what do you expect? What will look better? So here's the thing, take your time with your line art, it will look good eventually. Now, another great tip on line art. Well, yeah, it's simple. When you are drawing here, and this is specifically about line arting here, that when you are doing them, instead of going for a more chicken scratched version, I would recommend you draw them fast paced. Well, that way, I'd always tell this to people that a lot of pro artists draw it this way. A lot of pro artists, believe me, because it's just the way to approach it. Also, if you chicken scratch somewhere, always make sure to it for it to be a remote location where you actually like it to be like that. Like over here, with his spikes, I'm actually chicken scratching, but on his mouth, I'm not, cause I want it to look good. And that area, it's actually genuinely made that they should look like scars and whiskers. So yeah, they need to look like that. That's why I'm using that. Of course, you can chicken scratch if you don't have a lot of confidence in your lines, but I will always recommend you work on that more. And with that, I think your line art should look pretty good. Now, here's the thing, I'm gonna give you a lot of tips in this video, so I will recommend you go watch another video and just keep playing it in the background. Cause just by getting this stuff into your head, you're gonna have a much greater line art than what you already have. So let me start shattering you with all of the great tips. As of course, now as I told you, there are already two methods to make give a sense of shadow. First of all, make the lines thicker, and second of all, cross hatching. But there's actually a third method, and these are the different kinds of shading styles you can go with. Like you can go with circles, you can go with literal dots like this, and then just you can just go with any style and then add it to your drawing, and it will look good in the end, because different shading styles have different values. I would recommend you do something really amazing. You literally cheat the system and be like, yeah, I want to use all of them. And then you use all of them, because that way your drawings are going to look way better, and the rough sketch and the line art are going to look way more refined. Because, well, it's the thing. I would also recommend you always fill the thing in with with a base line, with a base shade, and then work on the shadows later. How can you make shadows? I would always recommend you mark out those areas first, and then make that area a bit darker of the same shading style that you use in your base color. That's gonna help you a lot when shading. Also, there's going to be a tutorial on coloring soon on my channel, so I hope you better tune in that. And as I'm saying about now, of course, how we all know how to shade now, because we have already just told you. But here's the thing: when you know your light source, you all neither not you all, do you don't only know where to shade, you also know where to put your shadows, because shadows. Okay, here's a good tip. Shadows is not the absence of light. Shadow is mere blocking of light by some object which color is reflected onto the object on which light is being blocked. What do I mean there? Well, don't make your shadows pure black. I mean, in one case that your character is in a pure black environment, just keep this in your mind. The object that's reflecting the shadow will always be the color, the color object's color is going to be the color that the shadow is being formed by. I hope that made sense, because I don't think it did. Basically, if my hand's casting shadow on this paper, it should look more like my hand's color, like I don't know, skin color. And if it's in a pure environment like outside, it should be blue. Why? Because the sky is blue. Simple, silly. I hope that made sense now. I think that did sense. That did make sense, at least in my head. So that's the thing. When you're drum making animal line art, I would always recommend that you go not chicken scratching, but with a bit more of the chaotic line side. Cause well, yeah, a lot of anime have these. Also, I would love it if you go search the works of Sam Des art and artists like, I don't know, draw like a sir. Just stay away from Coolin, bro. Okay, so yeah, go look Sam Des art. Go watch those amazing tutorials of those amazing artists. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. This was really fun to make, cause line art is just that topic that I really want to talk about, but I never did. But and with that, if you want to stay here for 2 more minutes, I'm going to give you some great line art tips. Like, just great art tips in general, not really line art tips to be honest. Yep. Are you having trouble drawing hands? Well, worry no more, because you can use your own hand as a reference. Of course, you have seen a lot of artists tell you that. So what can we do instead? Simple, bruh. How about we go on Blender and make a model of the hand? Of course, if you have a laptop, and you can always just use pre-made assets, and then just look at it in 3D or use websites, and that's just gonna help you so much. Another amazing art tip: well, the length between two of your eyes is the same as if one more eye can be fit between them, because yeah, your eyes just have that kind of measurement. That's I hope that helps, because that generally helps me a lot when placing the eye. Of course, you can make guidelines like these so you don't really mess up their proportions. Another good tip about cloth folding: well, areas that have, like, that are generally more compressed will have a more wider range and a lot more of these stress lines, and then areas who are a bit more relaxed. Those are that is of course a good art tip that I generally think that it is good. I really would appreciate a like, share, and comment, and I would really appreciate if you go watch another other videos on my channel as well. That's just gonna help me increase my watch time and monetize soon. Thank you all for the amazing support. It's been an amazing journey. Thank you all for 1.6k. We're about to hit 1.7k by the release of this video. And yeah, that's it. I hope you had enjoyed today's video on line art. And tell me, what do you think of this artwork? Bye bye, bro. Love you all.